in a series that has been absolutely impossible to call at times. We are in that situation once again. It is day 2 at the Oval. It is raining right now currently. But for a moment there, it really thought as though India was going to give away another big lead. But as we have become, I think, accustomed to, used to, perhaps ungrateful at times, another fight back was surely on the cards. And my goodness, a fight back it was. Now I'm just going to start off by saying half an hour it took England this morning to get rid of the rest of India's batters. They only had one real batting partnership remaining, but they were a lot better this morning. And a lot of people raised the question, some people even asked me, like, what did I think of England's bowling yesterday? It was kind of lackluster, it really was. I mean, they should have, in those types of conditions, they should have been able to do what India has done here and shift things, 6-7 wickets in an entire session or something. They should have done that, and they were just not accurate enough. But that's not India's fault. They capitalize on that. And at the end of the day, the 230 looked kind of all right, I think. The amount of runs that they got, 224, 230. But then came England. Now, what England did, what I think was really, really smart, was that yesterday, when India was batting, India batted really slow in those first 10 overs, because what do? It's overcast conditions, it looks grim, it looks bloody scary. Gus Atkinson is running in at 140 kilometers an hour. Chris Wokes, fantastic average at this ground as well. What do? You don't want to look stupid and throw your wicket away, so it's understandable that they try to play through the new ball. But the trend of this Duke's ball, and since last year, I've really, really been focusing on English cricket, even with the Ashes, the ball always takes a bit of time to really start talking, right? When the lacquer comes off. Here's the thing though, every match is different. Every ball is like a Tazo, a Dragon Ball Z Tazo you take out of a lucky packet, and you just kind of hope that you get not Piccolo, but you get Goku or Vegeta. Do you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you're just not that lucky. The 2 balls that have been used so far here, though, it's kind of been around. So it feels as though every box is similar, right? 15 overs it was for this. And so what England did is that they capitalized on those 13, 14, 15 overs. So yes, I don't think India were particularly accurate. I thought they were quite short, too short for a pitch like this. Again, it made me think to myself, an Arshdeep Singh whose length is so naturally a fuller length compared to the other guys like an Akashdeep. Akashdeep is a bit fuller than Siraj. It just would have been nice to see him here as a 4th seaming option. But again, how can you drop your 2 spinners, right? But that's not really the case here, because India did come back and they did bowl really, really well. The moment the ball was giving them something, they gave that something back to England. And I thought the bowling was just incredible. Krishna, I think, on a pitch like this, the Oval, with all that grass and with all that bounce, his height actually proved to be very, very useful. What makes it tough, though, as well, is that Zach Crawley-Ben Duckett partnership. They've been talking about it all day. People have been talking about it for years. This is going to be their trump card in Australia. Is that big height difference, right? Because the one moment you're bowling against Zach Crawley, all right? Now, you need to if you can easily, the same ball to Zach Crawley and the same ball to Ben Duckett, it's going to be 2 completely different. It's going to reach them in different parts of their bodies. So it makes it so much tougher. Again, that's why I just think that India at some point really, really have to start investing in a left arm seam swing bowler like Arshdeep Singh, because I just think that's the kind of weapon that could really tackle and attack these sort of right-left hand combinations. At the same point for England, they're really missing Ben Stokes there, right? Just to have that solid, stalwart southpaw in the middle there. Jacob Bethel, that was just a ball and a half. But England is really missing that, because nothing screws up a bowling team's lines and lengths more and more like a right-left hand combination. So a lot of credit has to go to Ben Duckett and Zach Crawley for just taking the initiative and taking the game to India. It's another thing as well. We're going to lose so much time with all this rain, but with England scoring at that rapid pace, it just kind of moves the game forward. But then obviously came that big collapse. And I thought India, they were absolutely brilliant. It started off with Akashdeep, then Siraj. He's an absolute workhorse. He's an absolute workhorse, and we cannot deny this fact right here. I just want to know what would your advice be to the Indian coach management? Like how does he bowl better with Bumrah? Because obviously you don't want to let Bumrah go. I know some people have been talking about Bumrah has to start thinking about retiring. I don't know how you feel about that. But how do you get Siraj to bowl this well alongside Bumrah? Because you're going to need it, you know, when you go to travel to Sina, etc., etc. You're going to need everybody to be on the ball, on the money. So how do you get him focused? Gus Atkinson getting a fifer as well. I mean, I just had a feeling in my bones that he's going to come back, and he's such a skillful bowler as well. So I thought he was great, and he's going to be absolutely key for England to extract whatever it is that they can from this pitch that is still very much green. And then Harry Brook as well, you know, we got to give him credit. He's had I don't think a very colourful series so far. Some of his decisions have been questionable, you know, but I thought that was a very gritty innings, something valuable runs on a pitch like this, something that England are definitely going to need as this match continues. So I thought that was a really good performance from him, especially with the collapse happening around him. So that was really, really good from Harry Brook. And then the final thing that I wanted to say is what's interesting now is that we remember South Africa versus Australia, very bowling friendly conditions, but because the sun was out for quite a lot, like what was that day 3, I think, it kind of burned off the grass that we had, right? So then immediately it became easier to bat. But the issue that we're having here is that there's quite a lot of intermittent showers, meaning that maybe a bit of sun comes out and then maybe the grass starts burning a little bit, but oh, here we go, here's rain, put the covers on, put moisture back on the grass. So the grass might not even burn fast enough for it to actually become batting friendly. So now it all becomes a question of, I'm not going to say the toss becomes almost obsolete now, but it's like a start over now, right? When we look at everybody's second innings. So now it's kind of like India will still face, I think, some of the tougher conditions now, but India will have to take into account that tomorrow afternoon, apparently late afternoon, the sun is really going to come out and it is really going to shine. So India are going to have to battle and try and bat for as long as they can, because the last thing you want to do is give England just sunshine and roses and daisies and those sorts of batting conditions. So it's going to have to be very tactical, and it's going to have to be very brave from India. But I thought this fight back this afternoon was incredible and very, very admirable. I don't know if we're going to see spin playing a big part, guys. Not if it's this green, and not if there's going to be no sunshine, right? So that's interesting. What are your thoughts on that? And yeah, this is the type of cricket I love. I love it when bowlers are in control, when they've got a tail, when their tail is up. So yeah, I thought really, really good today.